I would never take the stance for me to get behind them, but I'd rather feel your loving. I don't have anything for me to feel the way. On my ways, I'm alone. I'm alone. I'm alone and I can't solve it. I need someone to help me. Hello, new day, Ophelia. New day. Hello, everybody. Let me just do my little. Let me clear the field because this is a heavy, heavy energy. I was just playing the song that I was given for this true crime read. We'll get into it in a moment. Just wait for some people to come in. Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Thank you all for being here. Thank you so much for being here. Good morning. Hello. Welcome to Patience with Spirit. My name is Patience. Thank you so much for tuning into my channel. I miss you so much too, Ophelia. I hope all is well. Sending you love and light. Sending you love and light. We have a real big doozy of a whopper of a true crime read, and I wanted to try my best to see if we could get a higher perspective of this linear view. I'll explain it to you in a moment. I'm just, there's a lot of energy right now. So, hello, my name is Patience. I sound stuffy. What's up, Boston? Luck is fleeting. What's up, Boston? Hi from Florida. Akhenaten. Hi, Blue Monkey. Hello, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Thank you so much. Come on in. What's up? What's up? We're doing a true crime read. I'm your favorite spirit medium, host of Spirit News on all major platforms. We are so happy to be here. Hello. I'm with my very own spirit team, the Guild of the Golden Triangle, Mish, Mirabelle, and Mantis. That is my spirit team. I only know that because I have been building a relationship with them. I've been in communication with them. And they help me to learn my spiritual abilities, my spiritual gifts. So thank you so much for being here. We're here to be of service to the collective, to understand emotions, to understand things that happen in the dark, to bring those things that happen in the dark to the surface. Are you guys like Ghostbusters? I love Ghostbusters. I used to be so obsessed with Ghostbusters. Oh my God, it's been forever. Hello, Chicago. I'm not going to do any readings today, personal readings. Ooh, my throat chakra is starting to close up. Excuse me. Hold on a minute. Hold on. Excuse me. Sculptor. Oh my God, sculptor. Spirit just said sculptor. So today we got a doozy. We're going to try our best to get a higher perspective of a linear view with spirit to help heal this situation. I'm communicating. Why is it hard for people to be direct? I think a lot of people don't. I think what happens is that we might perceive ourselves as good communicators, or maybe we are, and then we expect that of other people, because we expect that of ourselves, and then we expect people to do the same thing we would do, instead of understanding that everybody is on their own level of consciousness, of understanding, of awareness. And most people are not self-aware. And so if you're not self-aware, you can't possibly expect somebody to be aware of what you expect. You know what I'm saying? So I think that's what happens. But I'm no psychologist. For sure. So, listen, this is a live, but if you end up not being able to watch the rest of it, or you have to step away, we're also recording on YouTube. So, they'll be posted on YouTube tomorrow or at the end of this session. So, if you want to come back to the place you left off, then you can definitely go to YouTube, our Patience with Spirit channel, and you can find the rest of the recording there. Okay, just so you guys know. We are also on TikTok Live, but on TikTok Live it doesn't record. So, or it does, but it doesn't post. So just so you guys know. Hilarious. Fist first off both hands now, please. Like that? What's up with those earrings from the 1990s? Oh my gosh. Hoop earrings all day, baby. Hoop earrings all day. Read the book The Great Controversy by Ellen G. White. Well, if it's an audiobook, I'll definitely check it out. I can listen to a lot of podcasts and audiobooks at my job, so it's I really love that about it. I'm just waiting for more people to come in because I really want this read to get to as many people as possible. Loving my leg warmers. Thanks, Ophelia. I have my own leg warmers. Can't go wrong with that. Well, JL, you better have some toilet paper handy, okay? I hope you got some toilet paper. Kraken. Spirit just said Kraken. Let me write that down. Kraken energy. Kraken energy. That's so funny. So listen, we're the host of Spirit News on all major platforms. It's a podcast. If you like more structured, if you like more topic structured type of spiritual information, you can go to our podcast. And that's where you can find all of that type of podcast style illuminated information for your development into the new world, into the new earth. We put all of our spirit nuggets there, all of the information that has helped us on our spiritual journey. So we're so grateful to have all of you. Oh, thank you so much for following. Thank you so much. I think it said Kelly. I'm sorry. Yeah, Kelly. Thank you so much. So we have, what did you say? An example is my girlfriend. She said doesn't want anything for Christmas for her birthday. I clarified time in advance, and when time comes, she's mad at me for not getting her something. I think that happens a lot. I have a grandpa who says, don't get me anything. But I think it's the thought. When you accept people saying their unworthy statement, then it almost solidifies that they weren't worthy enough for you to just do it anyway. Yes, it's not the most mature thing, and maybe they meant it in the moment they said it, but just get her the gift. Even if it's just something that you think reminds you of her, just get it for her. Hey, Steven. Hey, Steven. Oh, I missed a lot. You always got to do the opposite of what woman says. That's what they usually want, the opposite. Well, to be fair, like if you want something, if you want a thoughtful gift, just say, "Hey, I don't care what you get me as long as you put some thought into it." And that'll really make me feel good. I don't know why we can't just say that. you know? Oh, thank you, B. Thank you so much. No, I don't have any tips for those things. You're on your own, buddy. I'm doing very well. I'm so good. Thank you for asking. I hope you're doing well too. I'm sending everyone good vibes. Thank you so much. We as humans have a hard time communicating even though we can speak. Well, Spirit says that language, the act of words, of speaking words, is actually not our first language. Our first language is energy, because we are energetic. And so that's why we have such a horrible time communicating, because we expect everyone to read our thoughts, because we are naturally telepathic. And that's just a word we've given the ability to read each other's thoughts or energy. So that could be why we have such a hard time communicating. If you don't want a present, what would you like? I think it is the present, like I think she wants a present, but she wants him to like I think what she really wants is for him to go out and think of her and be like, what would she like? Oh, I this reminds me of her. I'm gonna get this for her because I just got a just got a confirmation. So anyway, you guys, thank you so much for engaging with me. I really like doing these lives with you guys. It's very fun. I really appreciate everyone's love and support. Um, we've been having a wild ride, and it's so much fun. We really want to say thank you for all the support. So we have a reading today. His name is Chris Todd Erick. If you're on YouTube, you can see the thumbnail. It's a very interesting true crime case that we want to try to shed some light on. I'll briefly tell you about it. You can definitely go look it up. There's not a ton of information, but Chris Todd's mother has been so vigilant in trying to find out what happened to him. Unfortunately, she's met with a lot of roadblocks because I think this comes from a very high level, from a very high place in the pyramid, okay? And she's not at that place where she has a lot of pull, unfortunately. So, basically, Christopher Todd is a young man who passed when he was 23. He was found with cyanide in his body. His mother got the coroner to change the cause of death from suicide to unknown because cyanide was found in his body. But the interesting thing about this case is that this person, this passed over person, her son, may be one of the body's exhibitions. Exhibitions. Yes, horrendous. And there are lots of things about, if you've ever gone to the bodies exhibit, which I'll be honest, I absolutely love the bodies exhibit. I think it was such an interesting way to appreciate your body, to have a different look at, what it takes to run your body. I mean, your body is a literal miracle. Like the fact that we have this vessel that's like, and it's almost like a bio machine. Everything has a reason, has a purpose. And so the bodies exhibit really fascinated me. And I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's pretty popular, but I used to live in Vegas. I grew up in Vegas for a little bit, and there is an exhibit that's permanent in Vegas. When it gets quiet. And there's the thinking man. And I don't know if I have both of my phones up, so you're gonna have to do your own, you have to pull it up to see it. But it's the thinking man. And and Christopher Todd's mother claims that the thinking man could be her son. And her son, it's just such a mystery. Apparently, the thinking man has the same brain injury as her son had, brain trauma from being hit in the head. There's also signs of cyanide poisoning, and the police station wouldn't further investigate. So it makes me wonder, why wouldn't you investigate somebody who had cyanide in their blood? Like, that's just wild to me. That's wild. This is in Texas, by the way. That's wild. Nobody's going around eating cyanide themselves. Clearly, someone put cyanide in his food or something. And there was a big, I don't know, there's really not a lot of information about it, and I don't know the whole story. That's why I want to try to get a higher perspective. But what I do know is that there was some kind of tension between the mother of Todd and, I'm sorry, of Chris, and the father. And the father doesn't seem to be a very good guy. And I also have, there seems to be something about his stepmother that may be a Cruella de Vil, a cruel devil. Okay, that's something wrong with her. There's something evil about her. And she may have something to do with this situation. She may have been associated or involved with some type of corporation, someone, and I say that because I have this pyramid here, some, some type of corporation, or, I'm not sure. I'm not sure. Some type of conglomerate, or something with a lot of money that has a lot of pull, that can pull a lot of strings, something like that. And I have the unseen, which is interesting. So definitely something done in secret, something done in the dark, something done behind the mother's back. And the thing about it is, he was 23, and there was some kind of custody thing where the father purposely made the mother look unfit to have the son and took the son from her, and he had to stay at the grandmother's house, and there was some kind of abuse or something going on there. And then the song I got this morning from Chris was Q, and that's the song I was playing at the beginning. Q, Alone. And it says, in a moment where I found you, I can see the pain inside you. And I know the feeling all too well to make you feel like you're alone. I shed tears beside you, and I made sure that I put them in a place where we can find it, to remember all the times we were alone in our problems. Oh, we just need to solve them, but I would never take the stance for me to get behind them, and I'd rather feel your loving, but right now I don't have anything. For me to feel the way I want to feel in all my ways, I'm alone. I'm alone and I can't solve it. I need someone to help me now. I'm alone. I'm alone. And can't solve it. I need someone to help me. So there's definitely something about him being unable to stand up for himself, unable to speak, unable to get help, unable to really understand what was happening. So we really just want to try to get a higher perspective and see, like, if we can put some pieces together. I do have to say, for legal reasons, this is entertainment purposes only. I cannot prove any of this in a court of law. We're just reading energy, but hopefully there's something that we can pick up on that will kind of bridge the gaps together and help us get, a higher perspective of this linear view. Okay. And we can help heal it. So thank you so much for everyone being here. I'm sorry I can't read, and I'll try my best to engage, but it's hard for me to read and stay in the flow of the energy at the same time. So, what the mother believes is that this was a case of body harvesting, because the grandmother apparently had bad lungs at the time of Christopher's death, and now she has good lungs, and his mother, his stepmother and father were associated with nerve and tissue harvesting companies. So that's very interesting that I got Cruella de Vil and the pyramid and the unseen. So these companies may be operating out of some weird devil energy where they don't care where the bodies come from, like, as long as you can provide the body, will provide the money type of situation. So if that's happening and our loved ones are being taken before their time for money to harvest their organs, like, no, we're going to be all over it. Okay. And it's not going to go down on my watch. Okay. So we rolled the dice to do an imagine if. I rolled the dice. It landed on 3. It landed on 13, but upside down. So I chose the 3. And it says, imagine if someone were a plant, which would they be? Number 3, Venus flytrap. I think this was all planned, honestly. I think this was all planned. She's wearing a bikini in her profile picture. Total slut. I think they planned from the get-go, this evil stepmother, to have some kind of claim to big money. And they needed, could have all been premeditated. They needed technology. They needed the mother to look unfit, so they could take Chris and have a reason. Um, I have more booty than 100 Beyoncés. Yeah, because they were interested in getting money from this company that they're connected to in some way. Mom used to say I'm a miracle baby. Now she says I'm her favorite mistake. So I think what happened was the stepmother may have been nice at first, okay? Because I have Cruella de Vil here, and then I have two of these like crony bros. Crony bros, I don't know why I said it like that. Which could be the father, and then another, possibly the grandmother. Okay, and the reason I say that is because she could have played to get him into the house to make him feel safe to leave his mom and say and have a place to go. He may have said, or she may have, came across as nice, as loving, as kind, so that way he would come into the house, because his father and him didn't get along. And so she may have been that thing that was like, oh, come on, I'll make sure that you're going to be comfortable, and I'll make sure, just really playing him. He's only 23, okay? So he didn't have a place to go. He didn't want to stay with his dad, but he wanted to stay with his grandmother or something like that. So she definitely could have played on his heartstrings and was creating a trap for him, okay? Because loss of memory. Oh, that could have he just said loss of memory. I'm alone and I can't solve it. There could have been moments where, because he was being drugged with cyanide. So there could have been times where, he just went to sleep and couldn't remember what happened. So we'll see. I'm gonna roll another dice. I just rolled a 6. I just rolled a 6. So let's see. Imagine if blank were a historic disaster, which would they be? Eruption of Mount St. Helen, a volcano. An eruption. Oh my gosh, and look at this. What's that look like? What's that look like? So this was some kind of culmination of events. Okay, tell me more. Tell me more. 7. Like, there's no 7. It only goes to 6. 4. Okay, thank you. Imagine if blank were a political quote. What would they be? 4. Ask not what you can do for your country. Ask not what you can... Ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country. JFK. And JFK was what? Shot in the head, and he had a major brain damage, head injury when the coroner was inspecting him, and the body. Oh my gosh, I was just gonna say, the thinking man has a giant brain injury, and Spirit just said, time on my hands. So ask not what your country can do for you. Yeah, so this is definitely not looking good. All right, 1. Imagine if blank were a cable channel, what would they be? Comedy Central. Comedy Central. They thought it was funny? Wow. I mean, this is Cruella de Vil we're talking about. False. Okay, Spirit said false. So what is this Comedy Central? I don't understand this. Can I have another one? I don't understand what you're saying. The weirdest part about being single as you get older is sleeping with other people's moms. Oh, shit. Stop. Are you saying that Chris was sleeping with a stepmom? I don't know. It's possible. I don't know. Let's continue. It could have been played a part in why there was no Or maybe that's how she got him to trust her. I don't know. Uh, Imagine if they could travel in a time machine. Which event would they choose to witness? His or her own birth. His own birth. Wow. He definitely wishes he could do it over. His energy feels very trusting, very naive. It feels very like not able to imagine anyone going to this length to do that. Like not even thinking that this would ever happen in a million years. Wanting to go back to his birth so he could understand the like corruption and the weird temptation that was like presented to him. There's some kind of aphrodisiac or something, or some kind of trap that was set for this person to be part of this eruption of Mount St. Helen. There, in retrospect, there's definitely a lot of things he sees now that were make a noise. Thank you. That were making a noise that he was just too young, and he didn't have his mom. They purposely separated him from his mom because they didn't want his mom to be able to say, no, that's weird. That's weird. They shouldn't be doing that. They shouldn't be saying that. So there's definitely some kind of trap that was set for some type of money, for some type of culmination of events. He had cyanide in his system. He had head injuries. What else did he have? There was something going on where he couldn't remember all the time what happened to him. There's also something about him having 2 heart attacks. Okay, tell me about the remembering. Can I know about the remembering, please? Maybe I called you a cracker because I think you are delicious. A lot of gaslighting, a lot of mental manipulation, a lot of gaslighting in this house. A fat man once told me to always butter the bread before frying it in chocolate sauce. That's funny because I have like this fat chubby man at the bottom here, right here. This fat chubby man at the bottom. Tell me more about these people. Brody is a nappy-headed hair farmer, but the flying burrito painted on his board is pretty righteous.
Historic spot.
Brody is a nappy-headed hair farmer, but the flying burrito painted on his board is pretty righteous. These were people who could claim to be like Christians or, righteous, like claim to be some kind of better than thou, having, high morals or high expectations, but really they're nappy headed. They don't take care of themselves. They eat too much. They're overweight. They aren't living a life like they want to, like they're sacred, like they take care of their bodies like they're sacred. They're righteous. They're falsely right. They're falsely righteous. Spirit said, Patrick. My beard is quite versatile. It can seek out obscure bands and craft breweries, then post about them on Reddit. They were seeking out obscure ways to craft money, abundance. They may have read about something on Reddit, or they may have had this idea come to them because of something they read online. what was this thing they were looking for online? There was something that they were, and I have farmer, so harvest. Something about harvesting pretty neighbors, pretty painted, like attractive bodies, harvesting attractive bodies. I think you've hit the G spot. I'm not sure though, since male matter has never entered my space hole. um, I think that this family, starting with the stepmother, this Cruella de Vil type of energy, was going out of their way to look for versatile, discover versatile, obscure ways to craft money, to bring about more money. She was reading about, she was reading about this topic about, probably because the grandmother was looking for lungs. So she may have come across on Reddit, something about harvesting. Why can't I say the word? Why can't I think of the word? Harvesting body parts and stuff. She may have gotten a job or found a place where she could figure out some more information or have some kind of foot in or solidify a place, or entered a space where she could get more information about this or something like that. I think you've hit the G spot. I'm not sure though, since male matter has never entered my space hole. So there's something about this company or whatever she was associated with, that where she would get the money for doing the, oh, why can't I freaking think of it? Something harvesting. Does anybody know what I'm saying? The body part harvesting. What is that called? Something harvesting. I cannot think of the word. But whatever this company was or this opportunity was, it might not even have been on the books, you guys. This may have been like some side, independent opportunity that had a requirement of needing it to be, the body has to be, whatever this body to be harvested has to be, and it says Brody, so a male has to have very confirmation, thank you, has to have very little tattoos on it, and it has to be attractive, like muscular and all that. Well, this person fit the bill. Chris fit the bill. He was attractive. He was very fit. He had a lot of muscular muscles. And he was young. So there's something about this particular person fitting all of these requirements of this obscure way to craft money. Okay. Something that was found on Reddit, or an idea that was found on Reddit. Maybe someone else did it. I don't know. Spring break lost its appeal after I came back from Cabo with crotch rot from that foam party grind session. Spring break lost its appeal after I came back from Cabo with crotch rot. I think that this stepmother, I think she was sleeping with Chris. And she may have done that. She could be attractive. I don't know. I haven't seen a picture of her, but she could possibly have been able to play on his mother wound, having to leave his mother, acting as that nurturing person that can, be there for him. She may have taken it a step further to, I don't know, he's very naive. He's very susceptible to suggestion. Okay. He's in a tough spot because he has to stay away from his mom. He's with his dad who he has no relationship with. He's in a lost place already. He feels very alone. He's already isolated from anyone who truly knows him or truly has his best interest. So I think that when he came into the house, he was already at a loss. He was already like breaking. And so the appeal of having another feminine energy who's, comforting him and making him feel safe and, and then she, takes it a step further, and, makes it a more intimate relationship, because she's trying to manipulate him through Jezebel energy. Okay, she's in very much siren
doubtless,
Jezebel energy. Doubtless, thank you. And so, she's counting on that connection to be able to get in his head and really get him to stay and to not leave, to not say anything. She's really the master manipulator here, for sure, because this is all part of her plan to get him really close in vicinity to her, to them, to be able to poison him mentally, sexually, emotionally, physically. This is like ultimate, ultimate dark manifestation, honestly. Okay? Tell me more, honey. Tell me more. I thought for sure I was going to say yes, but I just couldn't get over how ugly his last girlfriend was. I thought for sure I was going to say yes. Oh, a twist of events.
instigator,
Instigator, thank you. A twist of events. So the reason why it blew up like Mount St. Helen is because, and just like the song says, I'm alone and I can't solve it. I need someone to help me. Chris may have had he may have gotten a girlfriend, or he may have gotten someone who was potentially he was dating, that he was confiding in, some of these things that these people were doing to him on a like mental level, on an emotional level, that he didn't understand were wrong, because these people claim to be righteous. And so he's very naive, he's very young, he doesn't understand this way of thinking. And so initially he wasn't thinking that, there it was directly manipulative, but he may have gotten, it may have rubbed him the wrong way, and he may have like brought it up to a girlfriend, and his girlfriend and whoever this girl was could have been like, oh, that's kind of weird, like, oh really, they said that, or like, oh really, they did that. And so, will me and Jordan be in a committed relationship? Well, Connie, I'm sorry, this isn't a reading for that, but what I will say, to if this helps you feel better, is that whatever's meant for you will be easy. Whatever's meant for you will fall into place, and it will feel good, and it will come easily, and it will make you feel joy. It will not make you feel tired, confused. It will have clarity. If things are not coming together in that way for you, then that's a sign that it's not meant for you, or at least right now. And if you force something that's not meant to be, you can get it, but then something has to be exchanged in return. Not exchanged, but something has to be experienced in that energy, because you're not following what's meant for you. You're trying to force something that isn't meant to be on your path. Spirit said perchance. So this friend who's after I died. Thank you. So this friend may have brought to his attention some of like the manipulation that was going on, and it could have given him an idea that he wanted to leave, or at least stand up for himself, because the song says, it says, but I would never take the stance. And so, alone in all our problems, we just need to solve them. So, there's something about him, wanting to solve it, wanting to get along, wanting, not wanting to think or reflect about these things, about these manipulations, So, there's definitely something about him, not wanting to see these things as bad, but then it coming into his awareness from advice from someone else outside of this, that he may need to start taking a stance. He may need to start standing up for himself, and actually, like, putting his foot down, or like saying something, like, what are you talking about? That's weird. Why would you say that? No, I don't want to do this anymore. Stuff like that. So that might be
false,
where this false relationship may have started to show itself to him, because he got an outside perspective of somebody who was like, no, that's kind of weird. Okay. And he may have started to speak about this, or say something, or defend himself. Okay. So let's see from there. What is this about standing up for yourself? This may be the volcano that erupted. So let's see. They may have been trying to kill him slowly with the cyanide, but then something erupted. What is this that erupted? And why did you have 2 heart attacks before you died? Why did you have 2 heart attacks before you died? And what's this volcano? Mount St. Helens. Yeah, he was going to get out of there. That's why. He was going to pack all his stuff and leave. He's like, this is ridiculous. I'm not going to put up with this anymore. It's the reason why it erupted is because he wanted to leave. Their plan with him, dying slowly with cyanide started to become unrealistic, because if he left, they wouldn't be able to feed him and give him food with the stuff in it. His father, yeah. His father. His father's some kind of weird jock. He may have received this head injury by the hand of his father. His father may have hit him in the head with something hard. And so they had to do something about that, because otherwise they were going to get in trouble. And the father's mother saw that her son was making a mess, so they had to clean it up. They had to cover it up, because the father's anger, he couldn't control his anger, so he hit him in the head with some kind of object. Could have been a light or something, definitely hard enough to a candlestick, something like that. Because the father is always flying off the handle, is always treating his son like, this feels like this father may be, like a show off. He got a big ego. He's always got a,
investigate,
investigate. Thank you. He's always got to be like, the number one. His son is very attractive, and he's got he's muscular, he's hot, and he could have been jealous of him. But he flies off at the handle all the time. He can't control his emotions. There's something about this grandmother that had to cover up this mess, because the father, Christopher, finally was like, I'm out of here. I can't take it anymore. This house is, you all pretend to be righteous, like you're so high and mighty, but all of you have fucking mental problems, okay? And I just don't want to take it anymore. I want to get out of here. Well, that would ruin their whole plan of the cyanide, okay? That would ruin their whole plan of I said energy harvesting, of body harvesting this person. Why did they want a body harvest? There's something about being associated with some kind of company where they offer you money for attractive, not tattooed people, okay, that have muscles. There's some kind of like opportunity on the side where if you can provide us with a body that fits these criteria, then then we'll slide you some money on the side and we'll take care of the rest, kind of thing. We'll pay off the police, we'll pay off the funeral home, we'll pay off the whatever, the crematorium, and we'll get all the false paperwork and documents needed to show that we did. They're top of the pyramid. They have all the money to do these things. They have all the connections. All they want is the body. It's weird, man. It's just so wrong on so many levels. Okay, what else? Tell me more about this grandmother. I'll look in my guilty cards. Okay, tell me more about this grandmother. Thank you everyone for being here. I'm so grateful. We're trying to bridge the pieces together for Christopher Todd Erick. A true crime, unsolved mystery. Binge watch an entire television series in one weekend. Explode with road rage at the first sign of a traffic jam. I cannot make it up. I cannot make it up. This father has some kind of road rage, even the mother. They were getting greedy. They needed it to happen now. Okay? They needed to figure out what to do now. So they may have... Oh, you know what? This says, we just need to solve them. Where is it? And I made sure that I put them in a place where we can find it. And I made sure to put them in a place where we can find it. Drunk dial and axe. And volunteer for experimental drug trial.
She wore a charm.
She wore a charm. Admit to liking a movie everyone else hated. Yeah. So first of all, a place where we can find it to remember all the times we were alone in our problems. And I made sure that I put them in a place where we can find it. If the police and investigators were not paid off and someone decides to actually open this case up, do a DNA test, and go through the search history of these people, of this grandmother, father, and Cruella de Vil stepmother, they would find in their search history multiple searchings for cyanide poisoning, for all kinds of things to make something look like an accident or suicide. They would find those things. I 100% guarantee you that they would. Because they made a mistake, okay? They made a mistake and they needed this person. They hit him in the head, and so they were dying slowly, and so they were trying to poison him slowly, but it wasn't working fast enough. And then there was an explosion because there was a disagreement, because Chris was starting to hate these people, and he was starting to realize that these people were not for his best good, and he wanted to leave. Well, him leaving would separate them, and then they wouldn't be able to poison him and make his death look like an accident. Okay, so this fight exploded with road rage at the first sign of a traffic jam. Chris was saying all kinds of things that are true, and this enraged the father. The father, in his rage, exploded like a volcano and ruined the cyanide plan. Ruined it. Okay, but he may have been tortured or something. He may have been tortured. There's something about him being on, having a huge dose of the cyanide. having a huge dose of the cyanide or something, and that was giving him like a slow death or something like that. There's also something about an experimental drug. So they may have tried to drug his food with something, and that could have been the reason for his heart attacks, because he had 2 heart attacks before he died, and he's 23. So there's something about he was fighting, you guys. He was fighting to stay alive. These people tried to kill him multiple times, and I guarantee that if they were to be investigated and their phones were to be confiscated, their search history would reveal that they looked up multiple ways on how to kill somebody. I can guarantee you that. I promise you. Okay, but they closed it, even though show up to a movie after it started. Yeah, this is like some movie shit. Seize the day. Walk up to a celebrity and ask them for a photo. And they could also find a photo on one of their phones. The father may have taken a photo, or one of these weird ass people. I think that it's absolutely horrendous that the coroner could find huge traces and amounts of cyanide in a dead person's blood, and the investigators say, no, it's fine. We're just gonna leave it like that. Like, clearly they've been paid off, okay? Because any other police station or investigator would absolutely investigate that. That is something that needs to be investigated, honestly. And the fact that, I mean, granted, the body is already in the bodies exhibit. So I don't understand what would be so hard to just get a piece of the tissue. I mean, it's already exposed, all of the tissues. Why not just test the tissue? Just test it. But nobody's taking the steps to do that, to just confirm that that's not her son. It has the same brain injury, it has the same removal of the same location of tattoos. Like, there's multiple things that need to be cleared up that could be easily cleared up like that. Okay. And so I think that there's a lot going on, and these people are protected by a large company. Read every section of the newspaper. Okay. The Spirit's guiding me to the good news. Where is it? Spirit's guiding me to the good news. The good news, the New Testament. All right, Spirit, tell me what these people could claim to be Christian. Oh, oh my gosh. Stop it. These people could be associated with or part of some kind of church that donates or something about church, or something about some religious faction or community, or something associated with donating loved ones, something like that. Okay. Thank you everyone for being here. Make sure you're hitting that like button. Make sure you're subscribing. We post every weekend. We do a celebrity read of crossed over loved ones, and we do a true crime read every Saturday and Sunday morning. We are going to have a live podcast coming up. I haven't decided the day yet, but thank you so much. Make sure you follow us so you can watch us every weekend. We do. Oh, thank you. Oh my gosh, thank you for the gift. Thank you. You guys don't have to send gifts. I'm not here for gifts, but I really appreciate when you do. I am so grateful. Make sure you're hitting that like button so people can find us. I'm a spirit medium. I am learning in real time how to use my spiritual gifts for service in real time with you guys. Everyone has spiritual abilities. You're first and foremost a spiritual being having a human experience. So your first language is energy, and your second language is words. Okay, when you don't have a physical body, you don't speak words. You speak the language of the universe. Okay, you speak symbols, you speak visions, you speak feelings, emotions. Okay, I love you so much. So tell me more. This family could have something to do with a church. Order of the church. This is what I mean, my friends. When you meet for worship, one person has a hymn, another a teaching, another a revelation from God, another message in strange tongues, and still another the explanation of what is said. Everything must be of help to the church. If someone is going to speak in strange tongues, 2 or 3 at the most should speak, one after the other, and someone else must explain what is being said. But if no one is there who can explain, then the one who speaks in strange tongues must be quiet and speak only to himself and to God. 2 or 3 are given God's message should speak, while the others are to judge what they say. But if someone sitting in the meeting receives a message from God, the one who is speaking should stop. All of you may proclaim God's message, one by one, so that everyone will learn and be encouraged. The gift of proclaiming God's message should be under the speaker's control, because God does not want us to be in disorder, but in harmony and peace. As in all the churches of God's people, the women should keep quiet in the meetings. They are not allowed to speak. As the Jewish law says, they must not be in charge. If they want to find out about something, they should ask their husbands at home. It is a disgraceful thing for a woman to speak in a church meeting. Are you serious? Or could it be that the word of God came from you? Question mark. Or are you the only ones to whom it came? If anyone supposes he is God's messenger or has a spiritual gift, he must realize that what I am writing to you is the Lord's command. But if he does not pay attention to this, pay no attention to him. So then, my friends, set your heart on proclaiming God's message, but do not forbid the speaking in strange tongues. Everything must be done in proper and orderly way. It was homicide. That's just a wild statement that God would ever not let a woman speak. That's wild in itself, and that's not true. So what I'm getting from this is like the opposite. So basically, this could have been some kind of church group or people who claim to be of God that get God's word. God told me to do this. Which spirit? God told me to do this. Yeah, Spirit just said, which spirit? We have to remember that the Bible has a lot of beautiful, true things, but it also has things that were put into it by men that are going to be their own perception of reality, okay? It wasn't written by God, it was written by men. So we have to remember that. I am in a huge transition in my life. I left my husband this year. Am I on the right path in my life? Anything that is meant for you will be in your life. And anything that isn't meant for you will leave. And you guys have to understand that what is meant for you will feel easy, will feel good. And if there's any discomfort in the interim, you need to ask your guides and you need to ask your angels for guidance, for signs, for synchronicities that you're on the right path. I can't tell you that. You have to be able to have relationship with your own guides to know what is right for your energy. And you have to be able to put good things in your body, drink water, have relationship with spirit, clear your mind, meditate, clear your thoughts, your negative thoughts. These are things that you have to figure out on your own. You can't search outside of yourself, okay? So one person in this group of people claims that God could have claimed that God told them or gave them a revelation or an idea or something. I'm pretty sure it's this stepmother. Okay, the stepmother claimed that she could talk to God or she got a vision or whatever she claimed that this is what God wanted to do. but but whatever she, I don't know if she made it up or if she has intrusive thoughts that she can't discern, something like that. And God
Invite.
invite something she invited. I will say when it comes to speaking in tongues, and this is off the topic of this story, but it's coming up right now, so I'll just speak about it. On my timeline, I have asked my guides about speaking in tongues because I'm psychic and I never speak in tongues. I don't understand the speaking in tongues. I've been repelled by that like energy, by that notion of speaking in tongues. For me, in my experience, God, the creator, angels, they're always clear and precise. It's never to be interpreted. It's always like, oh, I see. And if I am unsure, I ask for clarity, and then the same things will show up consistently. It's always clear. And so, speaking in tongues, they show me that God does not speak in tongues. Okay, God doesn't speak in tongues. Whatever they say doesn't need to be interpreted by someone else. It is for you to interpret. And so if people speak in tongues, that's something else that they're channeling. It's not God. It's not creator. And I don't know if that's true. I can't prove it, but for me, in my experience, anyone who's speaking in tongues is they could be channeling energy, but it's not creator, because creator is not going to come to you in that way. Okay? So I don't know, that just needed to be said for someone. So they had a strange idea or of explaining something. They made an explanation that they claimed came from God to justify what they wanted to do to someone.
Career.
He chose career to explain why they needed to do something, to make something okay, so they wouldn't judge themselves on what they were doing. They put it on God, that God gave them this idea so it could make it right for them, because this husband is very overbearing. There's something they may proclaim to have God's message for doing forbidden acts. Because they needed to justify or feel good about what they were doing for money, is basically what it. They used God as a way to justify feeling okay to do what they were doing to Chris, to do what they planned to do to Chris. That's a horrible. I mean, that's horrible. Oh, so I want to know about the heart attacks. Can you please tell me about the heart attacks? What can you tell me about the heart attacks? It could have been this, something they tried to drug him with. When they break up with you using emojis. When your mom adds you on Snapchat. It could have been from stress. I do remember hearing he had a small heart defect. So there might have been something with the cyanide and the stress of it all. That might have seized his heart a couple times. There's definitely some kind of photo evidence of him possibly under some kind of inebriation or drug. They were trying multiple ways to get him to either kill himself, or it was really torture, honestly. Emotional torture, it was mental torture, it was physical torture. It was just at all sides, just trying to, for this money, for this opportunity. When your parents tell you to stop vaping at the dinner table, yeah, it was just a bombardment all the time. And then his body was on a low defense because of whatever drugs they were giving him. It says experimental drug trial, but we know for sure cyanide was in his body, so they could have been also giving him some kind of drugs to make him fall asleep while he was, or make him die while he was sleeping. They wanted it to look like a suicide, basically. They didn't want to like look like he got killed, obviously. And I keep getting mom. When your mom goes to the grocery store and forgets the thing you asked for. And we had that he kept forgetting what was happening to him. So I think they would drug him at night, or drug him and make him sleepy. I think that was like the first thing they started doing, but he was too strong for that. His body was metabolizing it, and he wasn't dying, but he would wake up not remembering, okay, or something like that. He wouldn't remember what would happen. And they're like, okay, well, that's not working. We have to do something else. So then they would, they would try the cyanide, but that wasn't working. And then finally he got to a place where he's like, he wanted to leave, and that was going to ruin their whole plan. So they had to figure out a way to get him to stay. So then he got into an argument because he wanted to leave. And that's when his dad attacked him and hit him in the head. The heart attacks could have been through, when you find out that bees are dying at an alarming rate. Yeah, the heart attacks could have been just from his body just giving out, and him trying to just hang on, when you peel a banana and there's a bruise on it. Yeah, there's definitely something about him having, because on the photo of the thinking man of the bodies exhibit, there's a clear indentation of brain bruise, of brain trauma, and that's exactly where he got hit on the head, where his head was like crushed. That is what killed him, is the head injury. When you're trick-or-treating on Halloween and someone gives you a box of raisins. When your grandma gives you a birthday card, but no money falls out when you open it. Oh my God. They could have been like, I had comedian before. These people are so weird. It's like, they could be on drugs. I don't know, but there's something about them using God as a way to justify treating Chris and torturing him and just really breaking him down. It's almost like they thought it was fun. It's almost like they were excited to come together and like, okay, well, like some weird thing that brought them together to do this horrible thing to him. Like some one goal that they were like, they kept trying multiple things, but nothing would work, and it's just, I'm not laughing at it. I'm just like, wow, it's like, that's very alarming that they were trying to find out how to kill this person and nothing was working. And so it kept escalating and escalating, and all the while remaining this righteous energy where God said that this is this, and God said to do this, and God said to do that. This weird, like, placation, like God said. It's very strange. It's very dark. It's very witchy. I don't think they were like doing magic, but I think that, mentally, emotionally, they were definitely abusing their power, and they had an ultimate goal for this idea found on Reddit to harvest these body parts or this person because he fit a specific wanting of this company. They were attractive, they were muscular, Christian. I told you this is through some kind of Christian church. Donate your loved ones for the sake of God or something. They have a side hustle where you can donate them, but they have to fit a certain bill for certain companies that want bodies that match certain criteria, and you'll get under the books, you'll get money. So that's what this is. That's what this is. When your parents ground you the night of the spring fling. Yeah, this is an argument. This is Chris wanting to leave. This is them not wanting him to leave because they've already invested so much emotional energy, and him leaving would directly break their link to him in order to poison him slowly. And they broke out into a fight. He gets hit in the head. Something about him being tortured, and his heart giving out twice. When you find Lululemon is having a sale, when your teacher thinks you're not listening, so she asks you a question, but you get it right. That's actually happened to me before. So they definitely did it. Okay, they definitely did it. They definitely tried multiple times. If this investigation ever gets opened up, if the powers that be, if God makes it so now this injustice is out in the open, and the cards are gonna fall in a way where we start revealing the truth about these companies, about these people, about these church communities, and this case gets opened up, the first thing I would do is look at the search history in these people's Google searches, because they're going to find, how do I make it look like a suicide? How do I buy cyanide? How do I, look at their Amazon purchases? Things like that. They're going to find a whole slew. They may even find a picture. Someone may have taken a picture of Chris when he was drugged or incapacitated to some capacity. I know that this isn't, that this doesn't change what happened, but I find that, being able to fill in the gaps instead of having them be open, it kind of helps with closure. And so that's all I can do, is just try to help close these types of openings that need healing. Okay, and I hope that these people come to some kind of justice, because you can't use, this is horrible. You can't people aren't disposable in this way because you come across some weird obscure opportunity where this person is that fits the G spot of what you need him to be to gain money. That's just absolutely wild that you could be so depraved. Okay, how can we heal it? How can we heal it? Chris, in retrospect now, as you have a higher perspective of the situation, what would you have done differently? What could you see now that you couldn't see before? What's the lesson here? Thank you so much for being with us. I'm so sorry that happened to you. How can we... Expansiveness. Eternity is far more creative than the rigid, constrained, and exhausted ego. Okay, tell me more. Oh, that's too many. Limitless. Austin. This happened in Texas. See yourself open to receive in the most miraculous ways. The divine can use anything and anyone. The world is blessed to have you. Change. The frequency of change supports our ability to gracefully dance with the forever changing nature of reality, both inward and outward, so that we can appreciate the sweet release of old and the birth of the new. Give me 2 more, please, and then I'll reveal the lesson. Bison, abundance. Sacred buffalo, cloak me in your wisdom. Keep me warm through the storms of life. Fill my life with goodness. Teach me the way of gratitude and prayer. Ladybug, good luck. You are a bright energy. Let worry go and be happy. And now, be happy here and now. Feel good about being a loving and colorful you. You bless the world with color and good luck. Object. Oh, and look, there's like a little buffalo family. So what I'm seeing is, he says, or this kind of feels a little different in the lesson. It kind of feels like an overall lesson, because these people were very limited in the way that they thought they could receive abundance. And so because they were so limited, the ways that the ways they were looking for abundance were obscure. And because they were matching that energy, they found ways to receive abundance that were very dark. And because that's the energy that they're in. But they're very rigid and constrained, and they're in their ego. And so this is a tough one. What Chris is seeing now is that he opened himself up to change, or he had to change quickly his environment. He got taken away from his mother. You know, he got put into a home where he thought it was something it wasn't. And so he was really zip. Oh my gosh, this isn't coming easy. I'm having a hard time reading this. Archangel Michael, please remove any energies that are not allowing me to see clearly from a higher perspective this energy that is telling us the lesson. So I think what the lesson is in retrospect is that all of these people, what they have in common is that they're very limited in what they believed abundance could be. Okay, they're very limited in how it could show up. They're very limited in how they were perceived by the world. You know, Chris really believed, you know, these people and the way that they were presenting themselves to him. And so he ticked, but they were really like ticks. They were sucking his life force out. And so he was in an environment that didn't allow him to see his expansiveness. And so he was trying to accept change, but in a very dense energy, a very stagnant energy. And so he couldn't understand the dynamic. It wasn't allowing himself to believe that he was a blessing to the world. And so he sees now that the environment he was in was actually showing him that these people are the ones that were believing that they could take something from him. This is hard to read. It's so distorted. There's something about when you're going through a big change and it seems scary because you're not around anyone that you're used to feeling emotionally. It's a different type of emotional support from his mother. And so when you're in a situation where you're changing and there's a big change going on and you're not sure how it's going to end or how it's going to unfold, there's like a really like uncertainty, scary place in that. And that's like a place where we can't control that, but we often at times let our thoughts get away with us, and indeed, and we start thinking, Spirit just said indeed. Thank you. And we start thinking about, you know, it hasn't even happened, but we let our thoughts get carried away about how it's going to turn out and how it's going to be and how, what if it doesn't work out, and all of these negative thoughts. And it limits us in the way that our thoughts limit us if they're negative, and they bring us what we are thinking. And so there's something about, there's twofold, these people being so limited with their ego and being so rigid and constrained with this like dubious with this like Christian thought form of how righteous they were. And so the ways they were looking for abundance were very obscure. They were very dark and very desolate. And so they matched that energy and brought to them an opportunity that matched that energy. Okay. And then for Chris, he's in the state of change too, because he has to go to a house that he hasn't lived at before. He's been with his mother, and so he's young, and so he's having to trust these people. So he's actually being open and expansive, trying to trust these people, but to his detriment, because he's so open and expansive that he isn't allowing himself to see the red flags of how these people are operating. He's trying to not feel alone. He's trying to be accepted. He's trying to be, part of a family that he doesn't know. And so it's really limiting the way that he's perceiving how things are really going. So that's why it's hard to read, because it's like twofold. If you're in a state of change and you're trying something new and you're around people that you're trying to be a part of, but you don't really know yet, you don't have to give yourself completely. You don't have to be completely open. You can be standoffish. You can be observing. You can wait for things to unfold. You don't have to be rigid. You don't have to be like closed off, but you can just like open the door a little bit. Every day can be a new step. And you can observe the behaviors, the patterns. You can observe people and not give yourself completely. In Chris's experience, he was so young and naive, and he never thought in a million years that these people would operate in this energy, that he opened himself completely because he's in a new environment. He wants to be able to have this open relationship with his father and his stepmother and his grandmother. He wants to be able to be happy in this new environment. And so he was just all in, trusting, without any regard for his own safety, because he didn't in a million years believe that. And I'm not saying that, you have to be like so cautious that you limit, good possibilities for yourself, but you also don't have to go all in and give yourself 100%. So you can be a little reserved, and you can build trust every day with people that are new in your environment. You don't have to be codependent right away or trauma bond. You can just take it day by day, get to know each other, start to notice the way that they show up every day. And I think that's what the lesson is, the world is blessed to have you. You have to know that there's people out there that aren't going to match your energy, and you're going to experience them, and you have to be able to reserve your energy a little bit for yourself so you can determine who's matching you and who's not. And that's the gift of discernment. So that's the lesson here. Thank you. That took a long time for me to discover what the heck that energy was, but I get it now. And so that's the lesson to, you know, whatever environment you're in, whatever change you're going through, whatever newness is starting, this is a new earth. So all of the energies are going to be new. They're going to, well, even me, I'm experiencing new things on new levels as well, new levels, states of consciousness. And so I'm trying my best to not allow everyone, all of me all the time. There's new people that I realize that I used to just, whoever came into my vicinity, I was just like so supportive, and I'm just always there for them. And I just want everyone to win, and I just want everyone to, have, see their potential. My spiritual gift has me able to see people's potential and like their higher self. Like I see people's higher self and I see how happy they are, and but that's not how they always represent themselves in their human form. And so that's been my own lesson, to not always, take what people are showing you as them wanting to be their highest potential. Sometimes they're just presenting that, and that's not actually, what they are, So be careful out there, you guys, in these spiritual streets. This is a lesson for you to not always be so open, to guard your energy. Energy is precious. Time is precious. We come here for a short time, not a long time. We come here to have lessons, experiences, and the relationships and people in our lives will be, definitely key players in how all of it plays out. And we want to be able to understand energy in a way where we can determine if somebody is for our highest good. And instead of it blowing up like an eruption, like a volcano, we can just identify it right away. We can identify it right away through the few patterns that they show us, that they aren't saying, but they're showing through other ways. Okay, people show their true cards all the time, but if you are so trusting and open and naive to think that everyone is operating in the same way that you are, then you're mistaken. Okay, you have to experience devils to understand what they are and what they're capable of and how they operate. You have to experience them first. And then once you experience them, you can start discerning and sifting out those patterns that you're picking up on, and start, getting them out of the way and walking away instead of confronting them. You don't confront energy like this. There's no confrontation. That's just walking away. You just get away from it. Okay? Oh, I'm sorry that took a little bit to get out, but I hope this helps in any way, shape, or form. I truly, truly love being of service. I hope that it helps. We're going to see you next weekend, same time, same place. I'm going to post when we decide the day for the live Spirit News podcast, bringing you higher perspectives of linear views, for the episode 19 of the Return of the Divine Feminine. It's going to be a little different because they're usually, our podcasts are structured and have more topics, and they have segments. And so we're going to do those live with you guys. So it's going to be a little different, but we're excited to do something different and to bring you guys in with us to experience spirit and to learn about what's going on in these spiritual streets. Okay, we love you so much. Thank you so much for being with us. We'll see you next time. See you next weekend. Bye, guys.